Welcome back. With me, I have two of my friends, Jeff and Rebecca, but we call her Rebs. I'm Greek by blood, but I'm also Greek on the AU campus. We're all members of Alpha Kappa Psi, the business fraternity. So I brought my friends along, and they're going to help me finish making our spanakopita. We just had some spinach, leeks, onion, garlic, sitting on the stove for about 15 minutes, getting really nice and stuffed. And now, while I'm starting up our phyllo dough, which I'll talk about in a minute, Jeff and Rebs are going to finish the insides of our spanakopita.
Okay, so I'm going to take the juice from half a lemon and squeeze it into the mixture. Okay, and then just a little bit of salt and pepper for taste. And then stir. Okay.
Looks great.
This does look really good.
It smells a little good too. All right, Rebs, what do we have next?
Okay, and then we're going to take a half a pound of feta cheese, and we're going to crumble it in. It's easy, just kind of break it in like this. Just crumble it a little. You're going to do the whole thing. Gets a little messy.
And remember, feta cheese is really salty, so you want to be careful when you put the salt in. Not to put too much, because the feta definitely will add a lot of salt. The thing I kind of like about the inside of the mixture is that if you've ever had spinach and artichoke dip before, that's kind of what it tastes like in a weird way. The leeks kind of act as the artichokes, the consistency, I guess. And so if you have some left over when you're baking this in your pan, get out some tortilla chips or crackers or something like that, and you can use it as a spinach and artichoke dip. It tastes really good.
It's going to taste great.
It's so good. Okay, so what I'm working with right now, what I've started, is phyllo dough. Basically, it kind of looks like thin sheets of paper, and when you assemble it one on top of the other, it forms this dough that's crispy on the outside but really soft on the inside. It's so flaky, delicious. Right? Yeah, it's flaky. Sometimes people call it puff pastry. You can call it whatever you like. Basically, how you assemble it is you lay it down into a pan. Here I have a 9 by 5 inch pan. Anastasia's spanakopita recipe called for a bigger pan than this. I just cut it in half, so whatever size pan you have around, if you want to make spanakopita for a lot of people, just double the recipe. And when you get your phyllo dough, it comes in a roll. You're just going to roll it out. Read the directions on the back. You want to defrost overnight. You're just going to roll it out and cut it to the size of your pan. It's really easy. So you just lay it down, 10 sheets on the bottom and 10 sheets on top. And just with a brush, I just have a brush here, and with some melted butter, and you're just going to pat on the inside, just like that. And just make sure before you start, just to get some butter on the inside so it doesn't stick. It's pretty easy to do.
Okay, and now that all of our feta cheese is in, and some of it's on my hands, we're going to take 3 eggs and just simply crack them in here.
And the eggs kind of act like a glue. They kind of bring everything together. When everything's sort of sauteing in the pan, because of condensation, kind of gets a little moist, but once you have the eggs and the cheese there, it's not going to be that moist anymore. It's going to be really, really delicious. Okay.
There we go. Not as good as this is Mella's.
No, it's fine. As long as there's no shells in there, everyone will be good.
It's good. It's nice to see all these great, like, Mediterranean flavors kind of coming together in the same pot.
This is definitely something that, like, you'd want to make on a Sunday. It does take some time to make, but if you're going to make a big pan, it's a great meal to share with friends. And also, you know, sometimes if you go to weddings or something like that, you'll see people passing around little puff pastries with the spinach in the middle. So
those are good.
It's kind of like a crowd pleaser. It's something that everyone likes, and the ingredients are really easy to find. Even the dill is easy to find. You could definitely find it in supermarkets.
My mom actually has a recipe that she makes. Hers is a Weight Watchers recipe, though, so we'll see. This one probably is a lot better.
Yeah, well, you know, there's not so much fat in it. We have the feta cheese, but that also adds protein, and the egg, but the rest is really vegetables. Well, I guess we also have the butter. Here I've just melted about 1/4 pound of butter, and, you know, you just want to make sure you get it everywhere on top of the phyllo dough, but, you know, butter always tastes good, so I'm not too worried about the fat.
This recipe reminds me a little of a recipe that I have at home in my culture. I'm Armenian, and we have a food called burek. It's like phyllo dough and feta cheese and spinach all wrapped up, and like Mel said, like it's kind of like a cultural thing. It brings everybody together. So this is kind of reminiscent of that. This is kind of fun for me.
Smells pretty good.
Okay, so we have 10 sheets of phyllo dough in here. And also just another thing is you can see on the inside of this, if you don't cut it correctly exactly to the measurements, you could just fold it over. Phyllo dough is really, really forgiving, so, you know, doesn't matter. Okay, so, Rebs, if you want to just fill the inside of this.
Sure. All of it?
Yeah, fill it all
Alright.
up.
Empty that pot.
Okay,
Right.
he's going to help me hold
Yes,
this.
I'll hold it.
All right.
And if that's okay for you, just put it all in.
Perfect.
And definitely, if you have some extra, get out the chips because it's really good. Just make sure the eggs are cooked first.
Here we go. Teamwork, guys.
Smells good. All the different flavors.
I know, the lemon really
Smell
comes
right
out
away.
with it.
Make sure you get all that
Delicious.
juice.
That's the onion.
We got it.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to spread this around.
Go for it.
And I'll just kind of show you what it looks like. Okay.
Yum.
So you kind of spread it on top of your phyllo dough, and then you're going to do exactly what I did before. You're going to put another 10 sheets of phyllo dough on top of this. Sprinkle a little bit of water on top of the whole thing. That way your phyllo dough doesn't curl in the oven. And it's going to go in the oven on 350 degrees for 55 minutes. You're going to have it covered with tin foil for 25 minutes and uncovered for 20 minutes. And you're ready to serve.